Hey folks, welcome to Fifth Down Father, where football meets fatherhood, and sometimes a little chaos. I'm John Malone, proud dad of 5, college football fanatic, and your host. This show is all about those extra downs in parenting in life, and you need another shot to get it right. That's me anyway, most mornings. Fifth Down Father here. Welcome back to week 2 of the Fifth Down Father podcast. Let's recap week 3. We went 2 for 2 on our picks. Our first pick was Georgia to beat Tennessee in a close one, and boy, were we right. Went to overtime. Georgia wins by 3. Both of these offenses looked phenomenal. The defenses, 44-41, guys. There was a lot of points scored, not a whole lot of defense. However, I did say the deciding factor would probably be Georgia's defense, run defense, and it was. You know, Tennessee has 3 pretty darn good running backs there, but I think it was like 125 rush yards that Georgia allowed all game. Pretty good considering it went to overtime. There's a little extra innings there. We took LSU to beat Florida. I predicted a little bit bigger win than they ended up with, but I did say the deciding factor there would also be the defense. This is one of the best defenses this far into college football I've ever seen. 5 interceptions. 5. As many kids as I have. I have 5 kids. LSU had 5 picks. One of them went all the way to the house. Final score 20-10. Let's see where it went wrong. I picked Notre Dame to take down Texas A&M. Took a last-second drive by Texas A&M. They scored with 13 seconds to go ahead for the victory. But Texas A&M finally was able to get that top 10 win they've been searching for the last couple of years. And then for our last pick that I was wrong on, I reached here. It's okay to take chances. It's okay to reach. It's okay to want the little guy to win. But I picked USF to take down Miami. And Miami kind of obliterated USF. But like I said, it's okay to take chances. It is what it is. Moving on. So this week, I'm going to pick 3 games and give a little bit of in-depth about them, and then I'm going to do 3 or 4 quick picks. So first we got number 9, Illinois, at number 19, Indiana. Both teams are 3-0, but Illinois is without their standout cornerback, Xavier Scott. He's a real dog on the field. He's always looking for the ball, always looking to break up the pass, get the pick. He's even made a couple big hits so far this year, but he is likely out due to a foot injury. Both had blowout, shutout wins last week. The opponents do matter. One played Western Michigan, and the other played an FCS school. However, they both put points on the board, and they both got shutouts. But I'm going to take Indiana at home, 31-24. Next, we're going to look at number 22, Auburn, at number 11, Oklahoma. Guys, Auburn's been down for a little while now. Oklahoma didn't look too great last year. They had no offense. They had an incredible defense. If you tuned in every week to Oklahoma, on the defensive side of the ball, one of the best teams in the nation, bar none. Offensively, they had nothing. It was like they shouldn't even have shown up. However, they both feel themselves a little bit. They're both confident, both 3-0. See, Auburn finished 5-7, and Oklahoma finished 6-7 last season. So, like I said, it wasn't great. I'm going to butcher this name, even though I've listened to it and read it 100 times. But Oklahoma's quarterback, John Matter, seems to have made all the difference for what Oklahoma was lacking in the offensive department last year. They're 3-0. They're putting points on the board. But more importantly, Oklahoma's defense is at it again. They, in the red zone, 66.67, so 2/3 of the time they allow scores, which is top 10 in the nation. 1/3 of the time they turn you away, no points. But even more impressively, they're one of only 9 teams in the entire nation to not allow a red zone touchdown this year. None. With that being said, I'm not sure that I believe in Auburn yet. I'm not sure that I believe they're the real deal. But Oklahoma might be. They might be a top 10 team this year. So let's go Oklahoma 38, Auburn 17. The next one, I was looking for a game that I really wanted to talk about. Kind of struggling there. There's not a lot of big games this weekend. However, I went with number 20, Vandy versus Georgia State. Vanderbilt, guys. Are they real? Are they not? Diego Pavia? What is he, like a 12th year senior? I don't know. But the kid knows football. The kid can play. He can run. He can throw the ball on the run. He can step up in the pocket and make the right read. He's pretty safe with the football, but he's not afraid to make big plays. He's not afraid to take risks. And what more can you ask out of a quarterback? I mean, he has Vanderbilt in the top 25. I get it. It's early in the year, but he has them there. Georgia State's defense has to stand up if they have any chance of slowing down or shutting down this Vanderbilt offense. I don't know that it's possible. It's very doubtful. I think Vandy rolls. I think it's going to be 42-17. On to our quick picks. I got to throw LSU out there. LSU, this is really their last chance to get this offense figured out before getting into the meat of their schedule. It was enough to hold off Clemson, but Clemson has not looked great since. I'm going to take LSU 45-7. I don't know why I'm giving Southeast Louisiana 7, but let's give them 7. Let's say they can get out there and get a touchdown on this LSU defense. I don't know that that's possible. Not a lot of scoring happening against that Tiger defense, but we'll see. And then this may be Florida's last chance to save Billy Napier's job. I don't think it happens. However, I'm going to take Miami on this one, 42-21. And last, for my volunteer fans, I expect you to run away with this one against UAB. Your offense looks pretty unstoppable. It may very well take a LSU-style defense or an Oklahoma-style defense to slow you down. Your defense still is not top echelon. It's not. I think UAB can get some points on you, but I do think your final score is going to be in the wheelhouse of 59-17. Tennessee takes it. And then let's go and I meant to do this earlier. Sorry, I'm scrolling through my notes here. Trivia question of the day, of the week. I didn't do one last week, something I thought about afterwards, but I think we can do a trivia question. I think we should do a trivia question. So, trivia question of the week. Which SEC school was the very first to win a BCS national championship? One more time. Which SEC school was the very first to win a BCS national championship? For some of you, you're going to get that immediately. Others of you, you're going to go to the Google, and that's okay. Leave your answer in the comments. First right answer I see. Hopefully I get some comments this week. If I see a right answer, I will shout you out in next week's podcast. Now, as you know, we don't just talk about football. We talk about fatherhood. I wanted to be different than everybody else. I could have just come on here, talked about football, and that been it. But I'm a dad. Before I'm a football fan, I'm a dad. Before I'm anything in this world, I'm a dad, and that's the way it should be. I talked about last week having to take time for yourself, take time for your spouse. All these things are important. But for our dad tip of the week, you have to be proactive in your child's education. Don't leave it all on the mom. You have to keep lines of communication open with the school. Today alone, I talked to the school secretary. I talked to the school psychologist. It's important that you know just as much about what's going on with your child's education as your spouse or the mother of your children or whoever is helping you co-parent. How are you going to help your kids through their education if you don't know what's going on with their education? And I'll leave you with that. This is a shorter episode than last week. Hopefully y'all stick around to the end. I am the Fifth Down Father, signing out.